Hey, I'm Sharjeel and I'm an international student here at DePaul. This is my junior year at DePaul and I'm majoring in Management Information Systems and minoring in Finance. So initially when I was making my college decision, I was looking for major cities such as New York, Chicago, something in California. And then when I heard about DePaul, I got to know that there's a Loop campus which is in downtown, and you know downtown Chicago is the hub of businesses. So being a business student, I instantly chose DePaul. My experience at DePaul has been crazy in the sense that my freshman year, it was amazing, and then I was living in the dorms. We had some great memories. Spending all the time with your friends and living with them, it's one experience, and then going to in-person classes, having a set routine, and then COVID struck and everything changed, and then we had to adjust to the online modules. I had to go back home and then study halfway across the globe. So that was an experience in itself. I wouldn't take any of it back because it was an amazing experience. I think that was one of the best parts of my college experience, that I got to experience a lot, even on campus and then off campus. So when the pandemic hit, I had to move back to Pakistan, and then I think I spent about 2 quarters there, and then I came back here. So when I compare my experience back there to here in online classes, I think my experience here was better, more because the time zone thing was not a problem anymore. Back then, I had to take some of my classes at like 2 or 3 a.m. The positive side of that was that the professors were really helpful with that. They understood my problem, and then when I could not take the classes, sometimes they would send me the pre-recorded version of those classes. They would make the exams a 24-hour thing for me. So it's been amazing in its own way. So when it comes to in-person classes, I think what excites me the most is just the opportunity to go back to in-person, meet your professor, and talk to your classmates, make new friends, make connections, and those connections can possibly lead you to an internship. Finding an internship is not that hard if you make good connections here at DePaul. I remember I was at the fitness center and I just met this guy, and we started talking, and he just gave me his email, and we connected over LinkedIn, and he just offered me an internship opportunity. Yeah, it was one of the best opportunities that I did as a part of my college experience. So it's when you have the opportunity to what you learned inside the classroom and apply it in the professional workspace, and that was interning was my first ever professional experience outside DePaul. If I could go back to high school and do something differently, I would probably just read my emails more carefully, because there are so many opportunities that you miss by not reading your emails. I remember that I struggled during my initial phase at DePaul because I didn't know a lot of things that existed here, and then I just went back to my mailbox and read my emails again, and everything was right there. So if I could just go back and read my emails more carefully, I would have done that. So if you're still confused about your college decision and you don't know whether to go with DePaul or not, I would just suggest to consider the environment that you're going to. So when I was making my college decision, I was more than the university itself. I was looking for a place where I could call it home for the next 4 years. I was looking towards New York, Chicago, and like the major cities, because I was from a major city. So I could not have chosen a college town and just spend the next 4 years there and then move to a major city to find a job or something. So I just instantly chose Chicago. If you're still confused in your decision, I would say that regardless of the college you're going to, you have to choose a place that you can call home for the next 4 years. So I would say just think about that too. Chicago in itself is a diverse community. There are a lot of different neighborhoods, and there's a lot of diversity. My favorite thing about Chicago is that it's a big city. It's a really big city, and you never run out of things to do. So I think I've been here for 2 years now, and I still haven't seen everything in Chicago. So there are a lot of museums, there are concerts every week, there are so many events that are going on generally in Chicago. I think that you can never really run out of places to go in Chicago. So Chicago, I think, was one of the best decisions that I ever made for my college. So if you're not decided on your major, that's not a problem, because the thing about American universities that's different is you have one extra year to choose what you really want to do. And it's not uncommon for freshmen or even sophomores to change their major. So when I first came into DePaul, I had business economics as my major. And then I shifted to MIS and I didn't have a minor, and then I just chose finance as my minor. Typically you have time until the end of sophomore year and sometimes even the midst of junior year, and you can change your major up till then. I would suggest you to not worry too much about your major and just focus on your college decision for now. And then as time passes, when you take some of your major related classes and you just get into the midst of it, you can easily change your major to whatever major you want. I know that college decisions can be tough, especially for international students moving like halfway across the globe and just adjusting into a completely new environment. But I think that's where the learning experience really starts. You get a lot of exposure, you get to challenge yourself, and I think that's when you learn the most. I remember when I first moved to Chicago, I was in a completely new place. I had never visited Chicago before. When I first moved to Chicago, it was a completely new environment for me. Everything was different. There was a big cultural shock. Initially it was hard to adjust in the new environment, but then as time passes, you get used to it. You start learning to do things on your own. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to do my laundry, but I learned everything at DePaul. So I got a lot of exposure, and then I started to learn things myself. I just talk to a lot of people, just make connections, and then just trying to help myself rather than depending on my family or depending on the people that you used to depend on for help. So you start making your own way, and that's when I think you learn the most. In my experience, it's a decision worth taking because the learning experience you get out of it is beyond words. As a part of my freshman experience, I lived in Monroe Hall. That was a great experience. In general, dorming is a great experience because you meet a lot of students who are in the same situation as you. Everyone is looking for friends, everyone is looking for people to connect to, everyone's new and learning things. When you meet the people who are in the same position, it's easier to connect to them, and again, you make new friends, you learn a lot of things. Some of the friends that I made in dorms are still my best friends. So the friends that you make during your dorming experience, they tend to go a long time with you. So in general, dorming experience is great because the dorming experience just helps you adjust to the new environment. So one thing that I love about Chicago, I would say the Riverwalk and the restaurants, hands down. One thing I love about DePaul would be the community, the people in general. DePaul is a great community and the people in Chicago are great. They're really welcoming. So I hope this video was useful to you, and if you want to learn more, if you want to talk to me or any of the global ambassadors, you can contact us on our Gap DePaul Instagram page, and if you need any help, you can always let us know. Thank you for watching and hope to see you at DePaul.